Okay, guys, I think we should get started. Skip. Ready? Let's do a short warm up. Start jumping. And side to side. And back and forth. And at the arms. And jump. And swing your arms around. And backwards. And back and forth. And shoulder. And change. And change. Up. And change. And to the left, and really try to extend your leg and push down, feel stretch in your hip flexor, and move around in your stretch. And squeeze down. And knee down. Push your hip under you and push forward. And change. Really extend your back leg and push down. And squeeze down. And knee down. And up. And push out. Push your knee out. And push your chest up. And change, shikak. And change. Kaikak. And knees together. And knee bends. And put your left leg forward. And let's do some leg sweeps. Hi. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, rok, sit, hach, ko, ju, Change legs. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, rock, sit, hutch, come, two. And to the side with your right leg. When you do to the side, try to lift your heel up and keep your hips aligned. So don't do it this way, but try to keep your posture like you were kicking to the side. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, rock, sit, hutch, come, two. And change legs. Left side. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, rock, sit, hutch, come, two. And jump a little bit. Hai, taisho harimasu. Os. Okay, everyone. Today I really want to focus on something that's really simple, because I believe that the simple things and being good at our basics is the key to successful content. You know, instead of trying to always come up with something new and something innovative and something fancy, just really try to master the basics. So today I want to start with something that we're all familiar with, Koshi no Kaiten, or Hami Shomen. First point I want to make is that these are two extreme positions. So it's very important when you do Shomen that you're squeezing your inner thighs together, you're pushing your hip forward and under you, you're not here. So I often see people in Shomen here and Hanmi here, which what I really want is the squeeze of the inner thighs and pushing the hips forward with your glute muscles, and squeezing your inner thigh muscles forms kind of a triangular shape here, which directs your force forward, instead of letting this go and having your foot here. So really try to get a sense of the squeeze here. And in Hanmi, I really want you to torque as much possible as you can. Don't overdo it so you lose your position, but keep your alignment, and within your alignment, squeeze as much as you possibly can. Okay? So the first exercise that we're going to do is all about finding the correct tension in your front leg when you do Hanmi Shomen. So when I move from Shomen to Hanmi, I need to make sure that I'm activating the glutes on the front side of the hip, on the front leg. And same as I move from Shomen, from Hanmi to Shomen, I need to make sure that I'm squeezing together on my inner thigh muscles on my front leg. So what we're going to do is that we're going to start off with our left leg forward, and in Shomen, really get that squeeze. And it's important that your foot position here is slightly inward. If I'm this way, I can't get that squeeze. I need to have my feet parallel. So place everyone left leg forward, place your left hand on the outside of your thigh and push your foot or your knee in as you move into Hanmi. And as you move into Hanmi, really try to get a feel for tensing your glutes on this side. Let's go from Shomen. Ich, and then change sides with your front hand. Knee, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Change hands. San, shi. Always changing, using the hand to activate the muscles. So you should really feel your inner thigh muscles here. Change. Go. Rock. Sit. Hatch. Kum. Two. Let's do 10 more, guys. Good job. Ich, ni, san, Shi. Go, push hard. Rock, squeeze together. Sitch. Hatch. Kum. Ju. Ayya. Let's change sides. So start off, what's important here is that you start off with a perfect show. And make sure that your stance is allowing you to do perfect show. Often I see people where their stance is too narrow and it doesn't allow their hip to move into perfect show. Make sure that your stance is wide enough and correct enough for you to get that squeeze. So really push now your left glutes under you and squeeze your right inner thigh. So this hip and this whole side, my whole left side, is squeezing in here. All right. Now place your right hand on your right leg as you move into Hanmi on the outside of your right leg. All right. Each change, knee squeeze, san squeeze, shi squeeze, om. Rock, sitch, hatch, kum, ju, ich, last time, knee. You should really be feeling your right hip burning. San, shi, om, rock, sitch, hatch, kum, ju, squeeze, 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 ayya. Now, so I hope that you can really feel these muscles working and you're forming isometric tension to keep that knee in place, which is very important. So next thing I want to do, and I really want to keep it simple for you guys, I want to just focus on this one point now. So let's really focus on getting the squeeze of your front leg on your front hip correct. So let's put our left leg forward again and Tatshuto Hanmi. Right. From there, just Gyakusuki and just feel that you push your right side in and you squeeze these 2 points together. Not just this hip and leaving the shoulder back here, but this whole side of me, I squeeze it into my technique. Right, touch it. H, knee, san, shi, go, ro, sit, hatch, go, ju, H, knee, san, shi, go, ro, sit, hatch, go, ju, last one, eight, ay, yoi, ay, hantai. Same thing, same focus, squeeze your inner thighs and squeeze your glutes when you move into Hanmi. Hai, touch you. H, knee, san, shi, go, ro, sit, hatch, come, ju, H, knee, san, shi, go, ro, sit, hatch, come, ju, last one, eight, ay, ay, yeah. Now, okay, guys, get some water, small break. So I hope you guys really understand this point, because I believe that it's very, very important. The next point that I want to make is that, everybody always talks about this point that the front leg should be moving, but it's equally important that your back leg should not be moving as well. So if your back leg is moving, you lose tension and you lose the spring off your back leg, and then your punch loses speed. You need to keep your back leg, your back knee in place when you rotate. And you do that by squeezing your inner thigh muscles on your back leg as you move into Hanmi. So when I move into, your hips kind of work the opposite when you go from Hanmi to Shomen. Yeah, you'll understand in a second what I mean. So when I'm on this side, when I'm on my left side here, I have my left leg forward, I'm using my glutes on my right side to push forward, and I'm using my inner thigh muscles on my left leg to squeeze the stance together. When I go from Shomen to Hanmi, the roles change. Then I use the inner thigh muscles on my back leg, and I use the glutes on my front leg to squeeze and keep that position. If I don't use it, and you can see it even at a slow speed, when I squeeze the inner thigh muscles here, and I go, and then it makes a spring that releases quickly. Versus if I rotate it out, then I have to push into it, and then my punch loses speed. I hope that everyone understands me. So let's really try to so don't move passively into Hanmi. I see that all the time, where, we go from here, and this is just a position for your gakushiki, which doesn't make sense. Hanmi should be a spring that lets go into the punch, which is very important. So let's go from, put your hands in your belt and really squeeze your elbows together so that these 4 points, my shoulders and my hips, should be moving together, not opposite in any way. So put your hands in your belt, and then let's go from left leg forward. Then from here, really try to keep isometric tension in your hips, and now focus on squeezing the inner thigh muscles on your right leg, on your back leg, and the glutes on your left leg or your front leg. Keeping your feet and your knees in the same place. Right. Each knee. San, really make a spring. This should not be a comfortable position. This should be unbearable tension that you then let go. Chi. Go. From tension, squeeze your knee on your right leg in. Really get that tension. Rock. Sit. Hatch. Ku. Ju. Ich. Squeeze in. Knee. San. So if you're doing it correctly, it makes for a spring in your front when you go from Hanmi to Shomen. Ich. Squeeze, and then feel the spring as you let it go. Knee. San. Shi. Go. Rock. Sit. Hatch. Ku. Ju. Hai handai. Get a perfect Shomen as your starting point. Really make sure of that, because if your starting point is off, then the whole movement will be off. Really get a perfect starting point, feet parallel, your hips under you pushing forward, and feel the squeeze of the inner thigh muscles. All right, now squeezing the left leg, squeezing the inner thighs on your left leg as you move into Hanmi. Ich, knee, San, squeeze, Shi, Go, Rock, Sit. Now really try to let this go and then grab it with your front leg. Sit, hach, ku, ju, ich. All right, let's do 10 more. Ich, ni, san, shi, ho, rok, sich, hach, kum, ju. Hiya. Now. So I'll be honest with you guys, it took me a while to get a feel for this. It wasn't until 2-3 years ago that I really started to understand this. And what you see all of the time, and what I've been working on since, is that, you know, we lose our knee out if we don't have this inner thigh tension, or we lose our sagittal, our center line. So what typically happens when somebody doesn't have this inner thigh muscle squeeze of your back leg, what happens is that we lose our center line. So when I move into Hanmi, it doesn't look like this anymore. Then this leg pops out, and you're way slower moving in that direction. Or what happens is that I keep this, but since I'm not squeezing, I let go here. And that also makes for a very, very bad transition into Gyakusuki. So it's very important that we get this correctly. Okay. Hi. Kyotsuke. Right? Yoi. So now we're going to put this point under pressure. So, left leg forward and Gyakusuki. So now what I want you to do is I want you to go from Shomen to Hanmi Shomen. Again, so you should feel a spring off your back leg if you do it correctly. If it's a lot of work, then you're probably losing the inner thigh muscle tension where you're losing it and moving back there. It should almost look easy. It should almost look easy from this position where you're pulling your back, pulling with your armpit back, pulling and back into place. So really try to feel the inner thigh muscle squeeze. Let's just focus on that for now. Your feet and your knees should be like pillars. They should not move. Okay? Gyakusuki forward. Left leg forward, Gyakusuki. Hi. It's Ni, Sa, Shi, Go, Rok, Sits, Hach, Kom, Ja, Ai. Alright, change legs. Same thing, same focus. All on your back leg. Ready? Alright. It's Ni, San, Shi, Go, Rok, Sits, Hach, Kom, Ja, Ai. Ai. Now. Very nice, guys. Very nice. I hope everyone's following me. I hope my video and my audio is okay. Next thing I want to emphasize about Hanmi Shomen is your shoulders and your hips moving together. What often happens in this is that we're not too focused on moving on the hips, but we should also be thinking about accelerating our arms, especially our hikite. And we're going to talk about this a little bit later as well, but our hands should be in a higher gear than our body. Our hands need to be moving faster because they're traveling a further distance. So by accelerating my hikite hand, it will turn my body quicker. I hope that makes sense. So if I'm going from here, and if my hikite hand is up from this position, and it's not squeezing back here and making a hit that bounces off. So when I move from here, I should feel an inner thigh muscle squeeze. I should feel a hit there and move back. Hit and move back. That's what I should be feeling. If I'm not feeling that, what happens typically is that people will be in this position, which is not correct. We need to feel that elbow squeeze, and our hips should be parallel from this position. I hope that makes sense. So what I really want you guys, so we're going to keep the same focus, but we're going to add to it. So we're going to add to squeezing our hikite hand quickly back, making that hip hit here, and then move backwards. So if you have a mirror, or like me, I can see myself in the camera now. What I really want to go from here is that I want to try to see this elbow in this position. So I want to hit the elbow and back. Make that hit there and move back. That's the maximum. And when you move in a maximum way, it should bounce off instantaneously. It shouldn't be laborious. It shouldn't be a lot of work. Okay, let's do 10 more. Hai, yoi. Hai, left leg forward. Really feel that squeeze and feel the hikite hand here. Make sure that it's not pointing up here. Squeeze it down with your armpit here. So it's less about the hand position and more about the feeling of the squeeze and the connection that you get from the armpit. Hai, gyakushi forward. Let's do 10 times. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, go! Look! Sit! Hutch! Come! Sure! Ai! Hai, hand tight. Gyakushi forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, go! Look! Sit! Hutch! Come! Sure! Ai! Ai! Now. So those are some of the key points with Hanmi Shomen. And I think that they are all equally important. Because if you're missing one of these points, it's going to ruin everything. So let's review for a second while we catch our breaths. Inner thigh muscle squeeze, very important to direct the force here. Very important when we move back that our knee stays in the same position, and we do that by isometrically tensing the glute on the front side and feeling inner thigh muscle and glute here. And the inner thigh muscles and the glutes on the opposite leg are working in the exact opposite way. So when I move from Hanmi, front side glute, back side inner thigh. When I move to Shomen, front side inner thigh, back side glute. And really, these are the key elements to creating speed in your hip turns, which is of course very important. Okay. So for our Ido Kion, or our moving Kion, I really want to focus on what I like to call mid-movement intention. It's very, very common to see people, including myself, move without intention in the beginning of the movement, which is a crucial mistake. When we move, we need to be explosive when we move forward. So when I move forward, it shouldn't be a slow start leading to a heavy technique, especially if I'm moving from above. When I'm moving here, it shouldn't be a slow start and moving here then. And the timing of our hands is very important. If I'm supposed to block anything, I need to prepare as quickly as I can and then move into the block. I can't be preparing late. If I'm preparing late, if I'm moving to this point and then preparing, the kick will have already hit me midway. So having that mid-movement intention and really visualizing a hit in the middle of the movement is crucial for our speed. And adding intention to our karate technique is a great way and a simple way to improve it. We need to have both mindset and good technique for good karate, basically. So let's start with something simple. Let's just warm up a little bit more and with moving back and forth. So let's go from here and keep your hands in your belt and really pull your belt forward and think about moving the back leg quickly and really move from below here. Aye. Ich, ni, san, and move back. When we move back, it's the exact opposite. I squeeze my lower back and I really think about getting my head out of the way. Ich, but I'm squeezing my lower back and I'm still getting inner thigh muscle tension. Ni, san, shi, go. And moving forward again, really feel a quick leg and a quick drive and a spark of energy in the beginning of your movement. Ich. So now our intention is on our back leg, thinking about kicking forward and leading the forward moving motion with our lower body. Ich, ni, san. And moving backwards. Ich, ni, san. Quick feet, shake. I know. So for our first block, Gitambare, which we're going to start with, I really want you guys to focus on not stopping in the middle. It shouldn't have the feeling of stopping there and then moving into the technique. We should have intention throughout our technique, and as we hit in the middle of the movement, it should go directly forward. So what I mean is, when you move from here, I don't want a slow, heavy kind of thing. What I want to do is that I want to move seamlessly throughout the technique, but still moving with intention. I'm thinking about hitting with this side, hitting this side, and there's no stop in the middle. Okay? So what we're going to do is that we're going to go on 3. So we're going to go from here, and we're going to do ich, ni, san, and really get the feel, really think about moving quickly into this and not stopping here. So this isn't a kime moment. This is a bounce into the next movement, if that makes sense. I hope everything makes sense. So let's go from our left leg forward. We're going to do about 3 steps forward. So try to have enough space for that. Alright, ready? Ich, ni, san. Ich, quick hands. Ni, san. And make sure that you're not doing this. Move your whole body into the prep. Ready? Last step going forward. Ich, ni, san. And moving backwards with the same intention. If I stop in the middle of the movement, I'll get kicked. Alright. Ich, ni, san. Ich, ni, san. Quick hands, quick feet, quick hips. Everything fast. Ich, ni, san. Last one. Ich, ni, san. Hiya. Now. Good job, guys. So next one, Soto again. For Soto again especially, I really want to think about turning my body and dominating with my body. So when I move from here, I definitely don't want to stop and start. I want to move seamlessly throughout the technique. It shouldn't be a head up and down and a heavy kind of block. The heaviness from our techniques doesn't come from our hands. It comes from our body and our stance. So when I make the block, there might be a heaviness to it, but it doesn't come from the hand. The hand is fast, but the body drops, and the stance and the core is what makes the impact heavy, but it doesn't feel heavy to me because the hand is light. So really try to work on that contrast. And also from here as well, I want to think about turning my body and making this movement and this hit there. So even going slowly, there's an intention and there's a seamlessness. Sorry, it's effortless. It doesn't take a lot of work. Hey, yo. Hey, get down, buddy. Hey. So think about turning your body, making the hit there, and turning your body and rotating this hand up. We're gonna go on 3. Ich, ni, san. Ich, ni, san. Last one. Ich, ni, san. And moving backwards. The quicker you prepare, the more time you'll have to actually block. All right, ready? Ich, ni, san. Ich, ni, san. Ich, ni, san. Last one. Ich, ni, san. Sorry. Let's do one more. Ready? Ich, ni, san. Hiya. Now. Sorry about that. So I want to go a little bit deeper into the last point that I made, where I said that the quicker you prepare, the more time you will have to block. And that's really the point of kamae in general. When we're moving in jukumide, we're prepared for any scenario. We're ready to go backwards, we're ready to go forward, to the side. I'm ready to cover, I'm ready to block with either hand. And when we do these movements, we should be practicing that. So as I'm moving backwards, I'm visualizing somebody coming with this oizuki. And if he's here, while I'm still here, I'll lose. But the quicker I prepare, the more time I'll have to block. So it's really important. So really try to have that intention where I prepare and have the feeling that you could wait here forever. Okay, let's do one more round of Soto, okay? And really try to visualize an opponent and try to be ready before him. Alright, yoi, itamba, right, ai. Alright, ich, ni, sa. Visualize the opponent, be ready before your opponent. Ich, ni, sa. Last one. Ich, ni, sa. Now moving backwards. Prepare quickly. As you prepare by rotating your body and throwing your hand up there. Ich, ni, sa. Ich, ni, sa. Ich, ni, sa. Last one. Ich, ni, sa. Hiya. Now. Of course, guys, get a quick sip of water. and we'll be back in about 1 minute. If you have any questions or if something is unclear, you can type it in and I'll try to answer. I'm very honored to have so many of my friends from the WTKO and all of you guys here. Thank you very much. What's everyone? I hope that you're back. Thank you, Milan. Thank you. So for Akiuke is a little bit difficult to put this mid-movement intention into because there isn't the same kind of preparation movement. Thank you, Annika. So for Akiuke, we are there isn't a really, when we go from Sotoke, we're straightening our arm here, and when we're going from here, we're squeezing together. But from Akiuke, everything is open, and we're kind of closing it down to move from here. So it's difficult to put intention into that. So what I like to think about when I'm doing that is I try to think about blocking earlier. And almost, if you're familiar with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or wrestling, you're familiar with a frame where they use their forearm to create space before moving into a submission or moving their opponent away so that they can escape. So what I try to visualize when I move from here, is that this hand is catching a Kisamizuki this way. As I move to attack the opponent, I catch a Kisamizuki and I use it, and this is a hit. And it's just a way to manipulate the mind to get more sharpness into the hands. And also, maybe what I forgot to mention earlier is that really try to hit with your hips. Like so many times I see people who are, they're putting all their intention into their hand, instead of moving from here and really driving this hip forward. So don't think of it as pulling back this hip, think about it as attacking with this hip, and it'll just change your mindset, and changing your mindset into an aggressive mindset when you block will always improve it. So when you're going from Akiuke and you're moving from here, I use my armpits to squeeze and block, and I'm intercepting, a short kind of Kisamizuki. Maybe somebody's hitting and moving backwards this way, which is a drill that we've done many times with Richard Amo Sensei. Really try to visualize that you're blocking with this and striking with that Akiuke. So that will give the Akiuke intention and sharpness, and it will also keep it from being this kind of lifting heavy motion. Another thing that I want to stress about Akiuke is that everything about the block is pulling you upwards. So the hand is moving up, but our body should be moving down. So at the moment of impact, when I finish the rotation to here, I have this squeeze down here. I definitely don't want to be reaching up here, because then there's no power in the block. So try to think about these things. Hey, yo. Get down, buddy. Mike! Hey! All right, let's start. Ready with Akiuke? And we're gonna go on 3. All right. Ich, ni, san. And really aggressive with this hip. Drive it through without hesitation. Ich, ni, san. Ich, ni, san, and drop. Very good, guys. And moving backwards with the same thing. Visualize a fast Kisamizuki coming, and really, if a fast Kisamizuki is coming, you can't do this. You have to move backwards, and you have to block with your body and your armpit squeeze. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And moving forward. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And backwards once more. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Aiya. Now. Excellent job, guys. So I want to move on to a little bit of Jion and really try to, we didn't do all the blocks, I know, but it's easy to, this isn't exactly about the blocks. It's more about how you can put intention into the middle of your moves to improve them. So you can do this with any technique. So I want to focus on Jion because there are a lot of opportunities to put these points to use. Just for example, in the beginning of Jion, in the first move, I can think about this preparation, hitting this way, hitting this way, hitting there, and then there's a feeling of a double hit. So there's a hit that moves into another hit instead of a tense squeeze together that only leads to a shoulder movement here. So there's a hit, a light hit, then moves into a heavy stance or a locked stance. Okay, I'm going to move the camera a little bit backwards just so that I have space. Okay, let's do some Jion, guys. Hey, Kyotsuke. Ready? Jion. Yo. So I'm going to talk a little bit through, but I'm going to keep counting and keep doing the movements. So for the first movement, have a sense of dropping and hitting with your hands. So there's a squeeze together that hits and moves into itch. For the next one, there's again a hit in the middle that moves into knee. For this one, after the Maegiri, I really think about my left hand hitting with the hikite arm. Itch, knee. Now, hit with your hikite arm. Sanshi. And again, have a feeling of hitting the maximum squeeze point of the kagewakyuke that leads out to it. Sa. Shi, go. Roksich. And especially from this point, instead of, really have your hand dominate the movement, or not your hand dominate the movement, but the armpit. The armpit squeeze turns the body. Each knee. Now, from here is a crucial part of Jion, where, you often see people going from here in Akyuke. A way to fix that and get rid of that complacency is to really visualize, is to really squeeze the armpit and really get a hit back there. So instead of thinking about not doing something, think about doing something. Think about hitting a person behind you, and that will lead into a sharp Akyuke. Okay, ready? Knee. Now, there are a lot of hits in the next movement. So there's a hit here, a hit with this hip, and then this hip keeps moving forward. So it's a really, really aggressive move. All right, from here, hit, 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 hit. All right. Sorry, guys. All right. San, shi, ai. Good job. So from here, have a hit in the middle. So when I move from manchu again, I go from here, I hit this middle point, and then I squeeze my front hip in and squeeze the stance here. So it's not complacent, I'm not swinging my head around, I'm keeping my posture, I'm keeping my center line, I'm squeezing, squeezing, hitting, and moving into this one. Alright, ready? Yoi. Alright, yich. Knee. Now, hit this preparation movement. San, hit the hikite movement with your left hand. Shi, hit with your whole right side of your body. So when I move from here, I don't just use this arm and use this posture. I keep the intention of hitting and pulling into this stance. So that when I'm from here, I'm pulling into this one instead of moving and being lopsided. Alright, ready? Push, itch, keep your posture. Now pull this hand in. Pulling the armpit will turn your body. Knee, pull your armpit and turn your body. San, pull your armpit, turn your body. Shi. Same thing, manchuge. Ready? Hit, hit. Alright, san, shi, om, rok, si. Now, this next movement, it really reveals a lot of your kion. You're moving aggressively forward, and then aggressively back, and aggressively forward again. So, when you go from here, you have to lead with your lower body on the way forward, your upper body here, and then your lower body again. So really try to get that. What we'll often see is that we'll see somebody from here leaning forward this way, putting their foot out, and then squeezing their lower back, and then in a wrong timing. So it's foot and this way, and then head forward this way. It's the exact opposite of what we want. Hey, yoi. So again, intention. Kick your right leg forward. Itch. Intention. Knee. Now kick your left leg forward. San. Alright. Now kick your right leg forward. Shi. Now you should feel again, like we talked about in the Hanni, in the next movement, you should hit a maximum point. So when I go from here, I should hit a maximum point here that leads into this one. It shouldn't be, 1, 2, 3. It shouldn't be work with our hands. Our body should do the work, and when our body does the work, it sends the hands out. Okay, ready? Okay, itch. Now really go for extreme here. Knees up. Let's do it one more. Really, when you're going from here, really go for this, that getansuki here, that will turn your body and it will lead into the tattoo again. Alright, once more. Ready? Itch! Knees up! Nice. Good job, guys. Now, from here, I need to think aggressively. When I go from here, I'm gonna face you guys there. I need to think about using my right hand to hit that person. Or I need to think about blocking and covering and saving myself. Whatever works for you. It doesn't really matter. It just needs to work for you, and you need to have intention throughout your technique. So from here, squeeze your inner thighs together, keep your posture, use your right hand to throw the body around. Yish! knee. Now, squeeze, and now use your left hand to throw your body around and create that moment of showman, before driving into your hanmi. All right, ready? So pull back with your lower back, use your left hand to turn the body. All right, san, shi. Good job, good job. Now, from here, again, using the support side to create the correct posture and getting that correct squeeze in the hanmi. So, if I go from here, you should see that I use this preparation and then I pull that hikit hand back. If I don't, and if I just use my left hand, I'll go this way, and then the whole technique is off. All right, ready? So, throw your body around, squeeze your inner thighs muscles together, throw your body around using your right hand. All right, san. From here, I have intention of my hands moving quickly and my body dropping. So from here, I really snap my hands up there. I snap them up there, and then I drive in. All right, ready? Ich, ni, san. Good job, guys. Now, from here, again, it's all about intention. I need to turn. From here, I need to turn, and then I need to block with my right hand. My right hand needs to come around and block this way. So from here, this hand pulls the body around, squeezes everything together this way. All right, ready? All right. Each. Now, same thing. If I show you from this side, make sure that you're doing something with your body. Don't go from here just with something with your hand. Do something with your body. Knee, feel that torque like in the hanmi, and then drive in. Ah, sa, ay, ay. Now, boss. I'm just gonna assume that everyone was awesome. I can't see anybody, but I think you guys were awesome. Let's go through the kata one more time without me talking so much, and just try to, don't do it like you're used to doing it. I always tell my students, like, you don't have to get it now, but I have to see that you're trying to get it now. I have to see that you're trying to do something different in order to improve. So one more Jion, and then we're done. Thank you, guys. All right, Kyotsuke. Ready? Jion. Yo. Ich. Ni. San, shi. Go. Sage. Hach, ku. Kyo, ich. Ni. San, shi. Go, ruk. Ai. Ai. Ich. Ni. San. Shi. Go. Ruk. Sitch. Hach. Ich. Ni. San. Shi. Go. Ruk. Sitch. Hach. Ku. Ju. Ich. Ni. San. Shi. Go. Ruk. Sitch. Hach. Ku. Ju. Ich. Ni. Sa. Ai. Yame. Now. Hi. 終わります。 Now, again, I just want to say, thank you to the Karate at Home team for letting me do this. Thank you to Yanti Amo Sensei and Richard Amo Sensei for pushing me to do this, and thank you to all of you guys who were here, and thank you. If you have any questions, please feel free to send me a message or comment, and I'm always willing to talk about karate. Thank you guys. Os. Thank you, Lou.